principal and interim president of Benet Academy. As Chris said, we're so happy you're here. We realize it's a little warm in here. I did put a phone call in to our maintenance director, and hopefully you can turn on the air conditioning remotely. If you can, I promise everyone will keep it brief so that we can get out of here without sweating too much. But it's a great day to begin a school year. It's raining outside. I'm sure the kids are ready to chomp at the bit to get in the building. One of the things that I just wanted to share with you a little bit about is kind of some new energy we've assembled. There's new leaders in the building, and I'm very excited to bring in fresh new ideas. Last year, we began probably one of the most comprehensive curriculum overhauls we've done in Benet's history, and I can say that with some authority. I began here 31 years ago as a freshman, much like your sons and daughters. And we've been very proud of our academic curriculum for many years, for decades. But it was kind of under leadership of our new assistant principals that they said, we need to take a look at this and offer more, and we did. So your sons and daughters are in great hands with people who are Catholic educators, who care deeply about the mission, but are also looking to innovate and try out new things. And I think that's one of the most exciting things that Benet Academy has to share with you. Just a little bit about our mission. We're an independent Catholic school recognized by the Bishop of the Diocese of Joliet. We're the premier college prep school in the area. You can see from our graduates, we get to send students all over the country, chasing down their dreams and living out our mission. And also, we are very happy to follow the Benedictine tradition. So in the hallway, you might notice some banners as you walk through, kind of giving wisdom to our students. It's not just what they know, but also teaching that really important value of wisdom. So it's something that we are very proud of, and we're ready to share with your sons and daughters. Before I conclude tonight, again, I just want to thank you and welcome you. I will be in the hallway after the presentation, as much as many of our other speakers will be in the hallway tonight to answer individualized questions. So, welcome, Benet. It's an amazing 4 years. It's so wonderful to see your sons and daughters grow. It's something very special that I really enjoy looking back, upon graduation days, they walk across the stage, where they came from and where they're going. So, welcome and thank you.
Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Dr. Lorianne Frieri. Some of us have interacted in different ways as your students getting ready to enter Benet Academy, and I couldn't be more excited to begin this 4-year journey with you. I am very proud of the work that our faculty has done to make sure that we keep at the forefront your students' 4-year plan in everything that we do, to be college preparatory, to exceed expectations, to help them grow, to balance opportunity while they're here at Benet. So the growing isn't done. The commitment to your students did not end with the beginning of our new curricular offerings. Some of your students will be walking into advanced placement classrooms for the first time. Some of your students will accept their identities in terms of who they want to be as a Benet student and where they want to grow. And we will walk right alongside with them, continuing to grow and to innovate and to commit ourselves to your students for the next 4 years. So on the one hand, I am proud of my role in curriculum, and on the other hand, I'm very excited to continue to work with the faculty in instruction and to look at the ways in which the instructional model that we provide to your students engages them, challenges them, and pushes for that growth that you desire. So from the moment we walk in here today, nervous, excited, and anticipating what the next 4 years are going to hold for your student, we have been hard at work looking at what those 4 years look like and already thinking about their exit plan and into the next opportunities that they'll face in their college years. So we are here to work with you. We are here to walk hand in hand with you from crossing that threshold for the first time when your freshman comes in to the time they with us. We are here to support everything that they do and the work that they do. So if you ever have curricular pathway questions, instruction questions, primarily working with 4-year pathways and our teachers, but I'm very proud of the work we do. It's great to be here, Red Wing. Glad you're here, and I'm looking forward to be here. So thank you.
So as Mr. Myers said, Dr. Frieri, Mr. Myers, and I have worked very much on how do we build 4-year curricular paths for your students, and I'm very excited to be part of this team. This is my 28th year in Catholic education. I served previously at my alma mater, St. Patrick High School in the city, at Dr. Frieri's position, and now I've come here to Benet to kind of do the other side of school administration with being overseeing student affairs. So working very closely with our athletics, our extracurriculars, our campus ministry, and our counseling program. So Dr. Freire handles the curricular instruction concerns, so if you have concerns about students in their classes, if you could have concerns about teachers, those are best directed with Dr. Freire. I work with the counseling staff very much to ensure that the students' mental and spiritual side, the spiritual side, are supported and nurtured. So if there are questions about the student's safety, health, that would go to your son or daughter's counselor, who will follow your son or daughter for the first 3 years before the children transition off to their college and career counselors. So if there's a concern, we very much believe in working with the teachers and then with our counselors, and the counselors are very much in concert with me, giving me updates, and I'm happy to meet them with you, with the counselor, with your learner on any concerns that you have. So again, just kind of separating questions about instruction, questions about day-to-day operations in the classroom. Teacher first, then heads up to Dr. Freire. I'm more on the student services side, so again, the student supports, maybe there's an IEP or 504 plan that your son or daughter may have had at a previous school, and how do we manage that here at Benet? That would come through the counselor, as well as then through my office. So again, if you have any questions, I'll be available in the atrium following the presentation to speak with you about those. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Greg Gersh. I'm the Vice President of Development here at Benet, and our office offers a lot of opportunities for parents to get involved. It's obviously incredibly important that your sons and daughters get involved in different athletics, extracurriculars, clubs, the arts. But we also want you, moms and dads, to get involved to help the school and to be engaged and to meet other parents. So our office, our first big event, our big fundraiser of the year is our auction dinner, which this year will be taking place on Saturday, November 4th at the Embassy Suites in Naperville. So attending that, contributing to that, supporting that is important and should be fun for you as parents, but also as we prepare for that, there's a lot of volunteer opportunities. So moms and dads, if you're interested in getting involved, we're going to shoot out an email in the Wednesday newsletter this week with some options to volunteer. Also, Colleen Gregorio is our manager of special events. She is in this class, your class of 2027. She's sitting right over here. Thank you for waving. Colleen, if you want to see her tonight, if you want to get involved, please do that. Otherwise, please reach out to her or look out for that email later this week. And on that note, that Wednesday email is a really important document each week that updates you on everything that's going on at Benet. So things for your sons and daughters, things for you as parents, events, opportunities to volunteer, to find out information. So please make sure you're reading that. And if you're not receiving it for any reason, please let me know or someone here at Benet. We'll make sure you get that every week. A couple other key areas, ways to get involved are the Mothers Club and the Dads Club here at Benet. Both long-time traditional groups that offer a lot of support to the school. The moms are going to have their first Welcome to Benet event for new moms and transfer moms next Wednesday, August 23rd, here in the lobby of St. Mary Hall. A great way to meet fellow moms and find out how you can get involved in the Mothers Club. The dads, they're going to wait a couple weeks, kind of take it slow, and on Thursday, September 7th, they're going to have their kickoff event. Same idea, just a chance to come together, have beer and pizza. There'll be Thursday night football that day, and find out some ways that you can support the school and be involved in the Dads Club. So I just want, on behalf of everyone here, I want to welcome you to Benet. Please get involved as parents, just as your sons and daughters will as they start their time here at Benet. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. So my name is Deacon Christopher Weiland. I'm the Director of Campus Ministry. And to sum up what my role is here at Benet is to take everything that you have spent a lifetime of your child building, a foundation of faith and morals, to go along with all of the classroom instruction that our academic teachers are giving your children. And my job is to teach your students how to put that faith into action. So everything here at Benet related to faith outside of our curriculum of religious education sits in campus ministry. And campus ministry is infused with out within all aspects of Benet Academy. All of our teachers, all of our faculty and staff, we all work to develop the spiritual side of your students. And we also need your help in doing that. So, Greg talked about the weekly newsletter. You will see all of the service opportunities, all of the retreat opportunities will come through both those weekly emails as well as direct emails to you and your students from me and from my group of student leaders that are also working to engage with your students as freshmen and teach them what faith in action here at Benet Academy looks like. So we do that through a series of retreats. All of your students will go through a retreat in October during the school day, but we'll have additional retreat opportunities for those that are focused in the arts and music, in athletics, in other areas throughout the school year. We'll also have service opportunities for your students to go out into the community and to be the face of Benet and to be the hands and face of Christ out to our community. So I encourage you to encourage your students to take part in those activities. And many of those activities require participation from all of you to attend, to help chaperone some of those events, maybe provide transportation. So I encourage you to contact the school about becoming a registered volunteer here at Benet, to fill out the paperwork, go through the background paperwork that's required, so that when those opportunities come up, all you need to do is contact me, volunteer for those opportunities. Also responsible for coordinating all of the prayer, the liturgy that we have here, the different fellowship opportunities. We're going to be trying some new things. This year's schedule includes late starts on select Thursdays throughout the year. Some of the students come on the bus. Some of you have to drop off your student at the same time anyways, because you have to get to work. So we understand that. We give them opportunities for study, but we're also going to give them opportunities in campus ministry to come and do something a little different, a little new. So I encourage you, be the voice of campus ministry in your home. Encourage your students to get involved, to experience the fellowship of being part of this Christian and Catholic community so that they can learn how to own that faith themselves. So that's my responsibility, to help build that ownership of that faith and to help teach your students how to put that faith into action. So if there's any questions, again, like my predecessors here, I will be outside and happy to address any questions you might have. Thank you.
Hi folks, my name is Steve Fry. I'm a Benet grad, I'm an English teacher here, and I'm also the moderator of Benet Student Government. And I wanted to talk to you for just a quick second tonight about SG, ways for kids to get involved, and then also some events that are coming up for your sons and daughters. So Student Government is a completely student-led organization. We have juniors and seniors that fill leadership roles, and it's basically the group that's in charge of all the social stuff on campus. So intramurals, tailgates, dances, prom, all that kind of stuff are all events that are planned and executed by students, and I just kind of get to be there to watch it all happen. This year, we have 3 events that are happening pretty early on in the year that are all opportunities for especially freshmen to come on out and just kind of enjoy the Benet community and get to know some of their classmates. The first 2 are actually this week. So Thursday, after the half day of classes, your sons and daughters are going to be participating in something called Frosh Fest. And that's just a day of like games and icebreakers and activities for them to kind of get to know their peers and also some upperclassmen and start to feel like, you know, they're a part of the school and that hopefully they're excited to be here. So that runs from 11:30 until 2:30, and basically after a 9th period class, some student leaders will come by. All your sons and daughters will be broken into groups. They'll get lunch, and then we have a bunch of games and activities on campus just for them to kind of have a little bit of fun before all the classes start. Friday then is our first actual dance. We always do a dance on that first day of school, and so this one is our back to school sock hop. The students pick the theme, and I think it's Are You Country or Country Club? So there's that. But it's outside, you get a Hawaiian ice truck. The students actually DJ that one, and so they provide all the music and stuff, and so it's just a really fun night that gets everybody again excited to be kind of back on campus, back at school. And then, actually 3 weeks from now is going to be our homecoming week. This is one of the earliest homecomings we've ever had. The first week of September is homecoming. And so we do an entire week of events and activities and stuff like that. And then Saturday, September 9th, that's the day where we do our homecoming dance. Now, it's a Benet tradition that freshmen actually don't attend the homecoming dance. The thought behind it is that they're new at the school and we don't want to put that pressure on them to feel like they have to ask dates, they have to find a group to go with. And so as freshmen, it's a little rough. But as sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they actually appreciate it because it keeps it a little bit smaller of a dance. But for freshmen, we do offer a separate activity for them. It's something that we started a few years ago. It's called the Freshman Mixer, and it's something that's just for freshmen. We rent a tent for the dance, and so upperclassmen come out at 7:30, but freshmen actually get to use it before them. And so on Saturday the 9th, they can come out from 5:30 to 7. And just kind of, we have music, we have games, we give pizza for them, and it's just a way for them to kind of interact with each other and hopefully have some fun. There are a bunch of ways for kids to get involved with SG. We do meetings every week on Wednesday. They're right after school, and so I'd encourage your sons and daughters, if they want to have a part in kind of planning some of the social events or just kind of meeting other people, tell them to come by St. Jude Common on Wednesday, and we'll get them set up with SG. Thank you. It's nice to meet you all. Hope you have a great evening.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Okay, that's better. My name is Scott Lawler. I'm the athletic director, baseball coach, and a parent of 2 here at Benet right now. Couple things. We have 23 varsity sports. Some of you guys have had kids already tried out, or 8 teams this fall. We have winter and spring sports. Last year, we had 13 teams go downstate, with 9 of them bringing home trophies. That was a pretty impressive thing. Now, the reason I say that, we've had a great run for the last 15 years in athletics, but the thing is, I think the culture of our sports is unbelievable. So I'd say that for your kids, have them try out, have them get involved. I have 2 kids here, one that is going to play in college, and then I have a daughter that is just involved in sports. Now, she's not here, she's probably mad if I just said that, okay? She's just involved, but she's enjoying, okay, her time here just as much as my son does. So I said that last year, again, you know, it's nervous sometimes, especially if this is your first run with a kid. My son was different than my daughter here. I remember my daughter saying, "Dad, I think I'm going to try out for soccer." I'm like, "Okay, you haven't played in 3 or 4 years." She did, and she had as good a time as she did in volleyball, where she played for years. So I say that, try to get your kids involved. We have about 1,300 kids here, 900 kids play sports at the school, so we have a lot of kids that are participating. Brian, I'm not going to steal any of your thunder, but I'm going to guess the rest of the kids, and a mixture, because we have kids that do both, that are in the fine arts and sports, that we do a great job of sharing. Okay, one thing I think we do an awesome job is making sure that the moderators of athletics, whether it's band, the musical, I think we do a great job of sharing. So if your kid comes home and says, "I want to just do one," that's fine, but I think they can do many things here at Benet. The other thing is, this has nothing to do with sports, okay? Nothing to do with sports, but again, as a parent of 2, if your kid's struggling anyway, okay, especially on the school part, one of the best things, we got Matt Brigus, who's somewhere here maybe, okay, who's our admissions director. My son went to him for help, okay, it changed his whole entire life here at school, because he taught him how to study. Okay, my daughter got help from Steve Crosby, another teacher, okay, changed her and told her to study way here. So if they're struggling at all at school, make sure they go find a teacher, because they do an awesome job of helping. Okay, now I'm going to go back to sports. Okay, then I'm going to go off stage and get to the next person. Okay, the other way to get involved, have your kids come to events. Okay, it's free to them to come to football games, volleyball games, basketball games. You know, they might say, "I don't know, I'm a freshman." Have them go. Okay, we have a ton of kids. Last year is probably the most kids I've seen at football in about 10 years. Okay, our basketball games for boys and girls, volleyball, it's a great time for them to get involved. Have them know that. Dates to remember. Okay, I think Greg Hirsch said this. Make sure that Wednesday newsletter, pay attention to athletics. Okay, on that. okay, because you'll see registration. I got a couple notes with registration. Winter sports registration will reopen September 5th. Boys and girls track registration will reopen October 1st. Spring sports registration will reopen November 1st. Okay, now, do you need to write notes on that? No. Okay, but if you read the newsletter, you'll get all that. Okay? 8-18 is our athletic website that has the schedules. Okay? Everything's up there from the fall, the winter, and the spring. But we will change updates as soon as we get rain out or something changes. It'll all be up on 8-18 and communicated that way. So, welcome. I hope your sons and daughters have a great year. Go Red Wings.
I'm Brian Bond, and I'm the performer under the script, so you don't want me to go off script. I'm the chair of the Fine Arts Department. I oversee activities involving art, music, dance, and theater. I also had two children who came through Benet. My son is a senior this year, my daughter is now a sophomore in college, and they had a great experience here, and echoing what Scott said, just to get involved. We want you students to get involved in something, anything. That's where they're going to find their people, and that's where they're going to find their support group to help get through the good days and the bad days. In addition to the being involved in these activities, I direct Benet's 4 choirs, and I'm one of the directors of the musical and moderator of the Benet Theater Association. The fine arts are very well supported at Benet Academy. The community values, supports, and invests in the complete education of the students, and the fine arts completes that picture, mind, body, and spirit. Almost half of the student body are enrolled in curricular art, music, and theater classes here at Benet, and we are super proud of the variety of experiences and the amount of rigor we offer them. No matter what that area of their interest is, we have a nice variety of opportunities for them to explore the arts. A good portion of our students are able to study in multiple areas, and many of our students are 2- and 3-season athletes as well, which is a testament to the value and support of the arts, as well as cooperation between the departments. We have many extracurricular offerings as well to offer even wider variety, and many of those will begin next week. So have your students watch their email and listen to the announcements, and we'll try and keep them in the Wednesday newsletter as well, so they know how to get involved. One of the best things about our fine arts offerings is that no experience is required. They are open to all students who are interested, regardless of skill. We love to see students who are curious and just willing to give it a try. Our teachers meet the students where they are, at their experience level, and help them grow to be the best artists they can be. The fine arts teach life skills, teamwork, responsibility, leadership, motivation, and empathy. Our students contribute to the school community, as well as represent Benet Academy throughout the Chicagoland area, the world at large. We return to performance tours this year. The choir is going to tour over in Europe. Our students are incredibly talented and hardworking, and our performers consistently rank among the top students in the state in competitive organizations like the Illinois Music Education Association and the Illinois High School Music Theater Awards. Our students who continue in the arts in college are consistently placed in top-tier programs around the country, and we have many alumni working in Chicago, Los Angeles, on national tours and on Broadway, in television and in film. Even though classes begin Thursday, it is not too late for your student to enroll in a music or fine arts class, and I'm happy to talk with you on how to do that. I'll be allowing everybody else afterwards. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Schaefer, more commonly known as Nurse Schaefer. I'm the school nurse here at school. I'm here every day that school is in session from 7:15 to 3:30. My office is located right next to the, that thing's nasty. Right next to the dean's office. I have 3 things I'm going to ask of all your parents is, 1, if your child is texting you from the bathroom in the middle of class or all that says, I'm sick, come get me, could you please text them back and say, go to the nurse? Because I have to assess them before they leave anyway. I got to make sure that, the diarrhea they're having isn't the burrito from yesterday, or was it the chicken nuggets they had at lunch. So just let them come in, have them come down, we can give you a call, then we can let you know. Or if you live far away, you can start, but then I can assess them, and then you're not waiting out in the parking lot, and they're not waiting in my office. That's number 1. Number 2, I just had a brain fart. Meds, please, do not send medications in little bags with no names on them. First thing, you would be surprised how many times I get little baggies on my desk, and I go, I don't know what this is. So, for one, the child didn't get the med, okay, because it's in a little baggie and it's now on my desk. The second thing is do we know if that child is sharing or selling these drugs? We don't know. Okay? So if your child needs medication during school, get a doctor's order, bring the prescription in, and we can administer it. And we can do as needed drugs too. So, and antibiotics, anything like that, I need a doctor's order to administer. Try to give all your medications after school or before school. Okay? And the third thing is, injuries. If your child gets injured, they fall down the stairs, they get injured in soccer, whatever it is, and you take them to the doctor, make sure you get a statement before you leave. What kind of accommodations do they need? Do they need something for PE? Do they need to use the elevator? Whatever it is, get it in writing and then give it to me. And I will share it with a PE teacher and teachers who need to know. Then, when your child is okay, all cleared, get a clearance note. So we know they can go back to PE, we know they don't need to use the elevator, they're wearing their uniform and all that kind of things. So if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to call. And again, I'm there every day. So thank you, welcome. And I have to just say this, I went to Benet 100 years ago. My 3 kids went to Benet, and it's a great place, and I'm also glad you're here.
Good evening, good evening. I am Benet. I am the Director of Admissions here at Benet, and I have had the luxury and the courtesy of talking to your children over the summer in college prep tech about appropriate technology usage. So I want to talk really quickly. This is just a really quick tutorial that makes me not a fan of many freshman students here at Benet Academy. I want to talk about the screen time function that you have available on your child's device. On the iPad, there is the ability for you, if you are not familiar, there's the ability for you to regulate how much screen time your child spends outside of the school day on their device. And that tracks across multiple devices. So if they have an iPhone and the iPad, if you want to set up screen time on their device, you have the ability to monitor what they use, when they use it, and how much they use it. That feature is very simple to use. It's literally 2 buttons on an iPad or an iPhone. It is settings and then screen time. That's it. Settings, screen time, that is it. What that does is that will give you the ability to remotely monitor your child's usage on that device. But it also extends to other things. So if your child is a big gamer and they're really into Nintendo Switch or their PlayStation or their Xbox, the same thing exists on all of those platforms. I let all the students know that I'd be talking to you about that, and they were like, why would you do this to me? But it's kind of one of those things where if you find that your child is maybe spending a little too much time online, and you want them to be spending a little more face-to-face time with you, or their friends, or their studies, they all have really easy ways to do that now with apps. And it's all built around your phone. So literally your child could get an hour of time on, let's say, their Xbox. And then after an hour every day, if they want more time, they have to request it to you, and then you get the text message that says, like, would you like to extend that time? I remember when I was a teenager, one of my parents' favorite maneuvers was there was no screen time. It was, I'm just going to take the power cord from said device. And then you can see it, but you can't use it. This is a little bit easier than that, and that it's literally an app that you can monitor. So if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to let me know. We talked to your children about appropriate usage of their device. One really fun thing, we started off class with like, how many of you feel like you spent a lot of time on your phone this summer? And they were like, no, not a thing. We had them take it out, had them take a look at the screen time in some of their apps, and they were like, whoa, that's a lot of time. And they acknowledge that, like almost to the point of like, I'm going to slowly put the phone away, and I don't want to acknowledge how bad that was. We know that they're coming off the summer, and we want them to be social. We want them to feel connected. We want them to be a part of Benet Academy culture and feel like they are connected to what's happening here. But we also want to make sure that they're doing it in a responsible way. So if you ever have any questions about it, don't hesitate to contact the admissions office. We can walk you through it. But settings, screen time, that's it. Thanks so much, and we're looking forward to a great year with your students.
I just found out that we're running ahead of schedule. That's about to change. Okay. If I don't write things down, I find as I get older, and I don't know if you would call it an epiphany, but I realized a little while ago when I was talking to some of my former students who are now here as Benet parents, that I'm the oldest guy on the stage. When did that happen? I'm probably the oldest guy in this room. But my name's Noel. This will be my 38th year teaching at Benet Academy. I teach in the history department. For 16 years, I was chairman of the history department. And I am at that point now where I am teaching children of students I taught. So, first of all, how many are Benet students? How many parents tonight went to Benet yourself? Give them a raise of hands. Okay, good. And I point that out because tradition is a word we use a lot at Benet, and you probably heard it already tonight. But it's not just hyperbole. The fact that so many of our alumni want to send their children back here to go to school says a lot about the school. And the other side of that tradition is the family. Longevity is a tradition of Benet Academy. 38 years is not even close to being a record at Benet Academy, and I will not break that record. But 40 in the 40s and even into the early 50 years is not all common. 40 people with 40 more years is. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you tonight about one of the two fundamental things we are tasked with. Deacon Christopher spoke about the first, building their faith, and I'm going to speak about the second, which is the academics. So for those of you who went to Benet, you know one simple truth, that Benet is not easy. It's hard. And those of you who are first-time parents, if you haven't heard that, you will probably find that out. For some of you, you're going to find with your children, it's going to be harder than they expected. And they're going to grow frustrated. And at times, the workload may be overwhelming. But they will adjust, adapt, and grow. To assist them, there will always be help available from their counselors, their teachers, and their coaches if they need help with time management with regard to sports and balancing that with their academics. At Benet, your children will be protected and cared for. They will be pushed and challenged, and they will be respected, but never coddled. We will work with them, and we will make sure that they can get through. Some of your students, again, who do struggle at Benet, sometimes you're going to hear from them that they maybe want to leave, that maybe they want to transfer somewhere where it might be easier. Most of them, however, will not. They'll stay. And those who stay, my experience is at Benet, or my experience is they will stay and they'll be happy. I believe that Benet does its best work with our B and C students. We have a lot of amazing students here. It's just unbelievable. But they're going to be great students wherever they go. But the students that have to push a little harder, work a little harder, struggle a little bit more, those are the students I think we do our best work with, because those students are also just as prepared for college as our top students are. They will find a college that fits them, and they will come back. And those are the students who often come back and tell us, literally, how easy college is compared to Benet. Not because the curriculum is easier, but just because they're prepared, and they possess those basic skills that they need to succeed in college. So first I want to talk just a little bit about the 4 levels of the Benet curriculum, and then maybe a little bit more about advice on how to fit and how to maybe make sure they are doing well. So, we have 4 basic levels of curriculum at Benet Academy. We have the college prep level, the honors level, advanced placement or AP, and collegiate level. And I'll talk about each of those briefly. So our college prep curriculum is designed to begin the process of preparing your children for college with emphasis on reading, writing, and presentation skills across the various disciplines. College prep courses will use a combination of appropriate secondary school textbooks with occasional college-level textbooks and readings. A large number of our freshmen, a large number of your children, were probably placed in all honors classes. That's pretty standard at Benet. And candidly, for those of you who are Benet parents, our honors curriculum is very similar to what the curriculum you had when you were at Benet. We just didn't call it honors at the time, and we certainly beefed it up a little bit. But these courses are designed to further challenge the student by giving them not just college-level work, but to prepare them for success in the advanced placement level. If you have older students than your child that is here, or if you were around when the AP program was around, you know that the AP curriculum now is one thing that students want. They want to take those courses that challenge them, they want to earn college credit for it, which they can do. So advanced placement are programs that are designed by the College Board. The curriculum is written by the College Board, and the teacher of the course must follow that curriculum to a T. And then in May, at the end of the school year, those students will sit for an AP exam in a particular course, or courses. Many of our students will take more than one AP course. And depending on how they score on that exam, they can get a 1 to a 5, they can earn college credit. To get college credit, you need to get a 3 or better on the exam. Top tier institutions are going to want you to have a 4 or better. Now, we are also at a point where some colleges are being more selective about awarding college credit for advanced placement work, and you just need to follow up with your students, with your child's senior counselor about what schools are giving full AP credit and what schools might be not giving full AP credit. But it's a great opportunity because it is college-level learning taking place here in the high school. Our top-tier curriculum now then, along with advanced placement, is collegiate. And our collegiate curriculum is designed for those courses that are, in this case, many times unique to Benet, but that go beyond the advanced placement level. For example, in the math department, multivariable calculus. In the history department, America since 1945. Anybody out there that took America since 1945? My favorite course. But students that, again, utilize college-level textbook, a college-level curriculum, in, of course, the high school setting. And for those courses, honors, advanced placement, and collegiate, they will have a weighted grade factor in that as well. So, again, as I say, most of you are starting freshmen with at least some, if not all, honors classes. And again, that's pretty standard. AP options will be available in the sophomore year, at least in the social studies department, and then more in the other departments, Lori, and I think even next year. And, oh, of course, computer science. Yeah, you just check out the Benet Curriculum Guide online to get information on that. But again, the number of our students that push themselves to take 3, 4, 5 or more AP classes is impressive, no doubt about it. Okay, so let's move on for that. Before I finish, I want to talk to you just a little bit about what I was talking to a minute ago about the reading and the writing. So if your son or daughter is not a reader, that's going to change. Many of them will have their books on their iPad. So I just want to echo what Matt said and make sure you're doing what you can to keep track. Probably they've been using iPads or a similar device in their schooling already through junior high. But when the books are hard copy books, you can just flip it open and see if they've been highlighted. But when they're on the iPad, you can't do that really. So ask them what their reading assignment was. What was the topic? What'd you learn about it? And just to make sure they're on task with it. Some of their teachers will use the iPads daily in class. Some of them will use them a little less often. And some may not use the iPad directly in class very often, but of course their homework can be submitted electronically and their books are on there. It does eliminate the 40 or 50 pound backpacks. That is one very good thing about the iPad. Writing. Freshman English will be difficult for some of your students. Some of our freshmen have limited background in basic grammar, including language, sentence structure, etc. Those basic skills sometimes aren't even taught anymore in junior highs or high schools, but they are taught here, and they will pay off. For example, for the better part of the last 20 years, I've been employed by the College Board grading advanced placement exams for the course I teach, AP US Politics and Government. And I'm amazed when I'm grading the essays. I'll have a 1.5, 2, 3-page essay in one paragraph. First word indented, nothing else. Run-on sentences, missed connections, kind of like this. But I'm just amazed. And remember, it's just 3 years from now, those students are going to be writing those all-important college essays. And it's not just what they write about, it's how they write that essay. It's going to have a big, impact on determining where they go to school. So we're going to teach them basic grammar, concepts, and principles. And again, some will struggle, but they'll get through. As others, Mr. Lawler and others have said tonight, all Benet teachers will offer help sessions. They'll do individual review sessions. I think teachers here go out of their way to accommodate their students, to meet, as Brian said, to meet them where they are and get them to where they need to be. And that's one of the reasons teachers do stay at Benet. It's a place where students get to learn and teachers get to teach. So if there are questions, or if your child is reluctant to ask for help, email the teacher, email the counselor, we'll approach the student. My son doesn't want to ask you for extra help, but could you approach him? And if you want us to be anonymous, we're happy to do that too. But we will do everything we can to impart the basic academic skills to your child. And finally, I want to talk about something that's going to be very present in your freshman child's life, and that's executive functioning skills. So timing, time management, for example, note-taking. See, this is why I write things down. Scheduling. Anyway, a lot of your students are, as Scott Lawler said, they're going to be involved in extracurricular activities, athletics, fine arts, whatever, and they're still going to have a heavy homework load every day. And And I'm still amazed after 38 years how these students do it. How they come all day, they study, they're prepared for class, they turn in their homework, they take part in their extracurricular activities, maybe a part-time job, they go home and they do their homework, and they're back here the next day. So it can be a struggle, but it's those time management skills that also will prepare them for college, note-taking again, etc. One of the things that I also have learned from our students who come back and visit, and many times the students who had to push themselves harder to get through Benet, is that those skills are also what paid off and has allowed them to do well in college. I've seen our students, whether they're the A students or the C students, graduate from the good colleges they attend, go to law school, medical school, serve in the Peace Corps, masters, PhDs. We will prepare them for that, and we will prepare them for college, and with the help of their faith, we'll prepare them for life. So if you have any academic questions, I think I would recommend the counselor for general academic questions first, and the classroom teacher for specific questions about something going on in the classroom. And even if it's just something your child says about something in the classroom going on, start with the teacher, and if it needs to go up the ladder, we can do that. But we are fortunate to have your children. We're grateful you chose to send them to Benet, and I think you'll be happy. Thanks very much.
Everyone's talking about getting involved and getting to meet people and know people, and then you have myself, Megan Carlovato, and Joe Cabay, the deans, and we always say, it's a really great thing if we don't know your children. So, but no, we try to get to know most of them anyway, but we're gonna kind of talk just about some of the nuts and bolts from our office to help simplify things for us and things for you guys. And I'm gonna let Joe start here with some information on parking, which probably won't affect too many of you yet, but just a little info.
Thanks, Megan. So for parking, your rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors are allowed to apply. So if you have a student whose birthday will be early enough in the school year where they could drive sophomore year, preferably from the beginning, they can apply for parking this spring. So the spring of their freshman year, they can apply. We would have a parking tag for them at St. Scholastica. Been doing this for several years, and there's basically about 40, 45 kids every year that are eligible for that based on their birthdays usually. So again, parking is an option. One thing I wanted to mention before Megan talks about the bus service is that we will be sending out the drop-off and pick-up routes at this Wednesday's bulletin. Just to give you a little idea, you can pick up and drop off completely in the front of the school. We'll have cones dictating a line that you come in. It's real quick. Drop-off is actually quite easy. Pickup gets a little bit more tricky, gets a little bit more busy. The back of the school has a morning drop-off route that you can use off of Yackley down the North Drive, but you are not allowed to pick up students at the end of the day behind the school because that's where our buses stage for bus service. So please make sure do not pick up in the back of the school. Please pick up in the front of the school. One small tip I'll give you, some people take it, others don't. If you give yourself a little bit more time, if you don't have to get them right at the rush, you will encounter a much nicer lot. So if they like to talk for a few minutes, 3:20 to 3:30, you'll encounter a much better lot. So unless you have to get them, and sometimes you do, it's nice to give yourself a little extra time, and then the lot will clear with our students that drive and other parents.
We do have a few bus routes that may be applicable to a few of you guys in the class, in the auditorium here. If you have any questions about busing, you can come and see me on check-in day. If you live in Naperville District 202 or Lisle District 203, they will actually provide free busing for our students. So if you live in one of those districts, you didn't see that in that Wednesday bulletin, you can come see me on Wednesday, you can shoot me an email, and we can get your students signed up for that. We also offer a service from Benet to the Lisle train station to Benet, both before and after school. So if you live in, a lot of our families that live in our eastern suburbs, we have a few families that are coming from Chicago, they will take that shuttle from Benet over to the train station and then be able to jump on the train. We have one that leaves after school and then one that leaves at 5 o'clock to be able to get them to the train to get them home. And then we also offer a route that goes down to South Naperville and Plainfield and then also south down I-355. So those 2 routes and the train shuttle route are paid routes. If you're interested in those, if you didn't get information on those, you can come and see me on Wednesday during check-in day, or you can definitely give me a phone call or shoot me an email and I can help you sign up for those, show you any of the stops if you're interested in that information. Just a couple of pieces of information on attendance. If your son or daughter is going to be absent, we really ask that you call Susie Schuma, who's the admin assistant in our office. She handles our attendance with Joe and I jumping in on a few things here, but as far as tracking that attendance, it is very important to call Mrs. Schuma first thing in the morning so we can get that in our system and know who is in our building. In the guidebook, which is online, it posts our policy for attendance. So I'll give you guys some time to read that in the next couple of weeks, but if your student is missing some days here, just so you know, our policy is if they've missed 4 days, we're gonna send you a letter that just says, hey, they've missed 4 days, we all wanna be on the same page. If they've missed 8 days, we're gonna send you another letter that says, starting to miss a few too many days here. And once a student hits 10 days, they'll come in and they'll have a meeting with me and with Joe, usually with the counselor, usually with Chris, and with Nurse Schaefer if applicable. Just to kind of talk this out and come up with a plan for moving forward, how we can make sure that work is getting done, are we communicating with teachers, when do we expect to make sure that you're consistently back in the building. That's our policy in case you should receive one of those letters. Again, feel free to call us with any questions, but we always like to let parents know, especially with that 4, that we have a number of students that'll miss 4 days. We send the letter and say, I called every single time, and we get that, we appreciate that, and we want that, but we also just want to make sure that we're following up on our end of the deal too.
I'm going to talk for a second about conduct here at Benet. So we issue all of our students a conduct grade. The grade starts at a 99. Everybody starts at that same conduct grade, and it stays at a 99 as long as they don't have any incidents or infractions. Every time they receive a detention, automatically 2 points is deducted from their conduct grade. If they serve the detention, it's just those 2 points. If they do not serve it, it's an additional 3, so it's a total of 5 points. So the conduct grade starts at 99 and only goes down. The things that we issue as deans are detentions, service detentions, and suspensions. That's what we can do upon our authority. If there is a really tough infraction that's big, we will call a discipline committee meeting, which is the principal and president, deans, and parents. That one we don't do on our own. We have to call that meeting with the principal. For detentions, service detentions, and suspensions, all of that is just kind of normal stuff that happens in school that the deans have to decide based on what happened, how it follows our guidebook, our handbook, and then what happens next. Detentions, again, are those 2-point deductions. Service detentions and suspensions are a 5-point conduct deduction. For small things, day-to-day, what I'll use the word is misdemeanors. Understand that we will correct your son or daughter, and we don't even have to let you know about it. It will be coming off their conduct grade. That will be on Plus Portals. It's something that we have keeping track here at school. If it's ever a bigger infraction or something, obviously that's serious, we of course will reach out to you. So know that, we're going to do those things during the school day, but we'll reach out if there's something big. Also, one thing that we clarify each year is that we are allowed as administrators to talk to your kids, to question them, to ask them what happened in the lunchroom, without your permission. That's in our handbook. However, again, we will always call if it is something big, so don't be concerned. We will always call if it's something big. We might just need to get some information from them about something that happened. Overall, the kids here are really great. I always give this example because I think it's important for reference. We probably have about 35 kids at the end of the school year out of 1,300 kids that have a conduct grade in the 80s or 70s. 35 out of 1,300. And then there's a whole big number of kids who have a 99. Started at a 99, ended at a 99. So their behavior is really great, which is a reflection of how you've raised them. So they really do a good job. Megan will begin talking a little bit about uniforms, and then I will add a few things on that one.
We have a couple flyers out up here. They've been in that Wednesday bulletin the last few weeks. Joe and I will be out back, and we'll have those if you want to take a look at them. I think for us, the most important thing is if you follow what that flyer says, if your student follows what that flyer says, and you guys reinforce that information at home, that will be very, very helpful to us. Again, we know you don't always see them before they leave for school in the morning. Something Joe and I do usually before the homeroom period, we stand out in front of homeroom. That's where they have a little bit more free time during that homeroom and lunch, and their uniforms can become a bit disheveled. But if you guys go through that information with them at home, make sure they have a tie, make sure they have a belt, their skirts aren't rolled, shirts are tucked in, they have a rip in their tights, they can come down to the office, we have extra tights. Just kind of those easy day-to-day things that they don't always enjoy following, but if we have that information reinforced at home and from us, that will be helpful for the two of us up here.
There's a few things with uniform and appearance that obviously you can help us with. So for our boys, the uniform hair length is to stay at or above the collar. So obviously that's something that you would see at home. If they're growing their hair longer than their collar, they're technically out of appearance code here at Benet. For our girls having their hair of natural color, if they spray painted it pink and walked out the door, they are technically in violation of our handbook. So that's where we're asking for your help. We are always scouring this section of the handbook. We're always looking. We want the kids to be comfortable. We've added a lot of neat features. We've made shoes more flexible this year and some of the things that we've done. So we're trying to work with them, of course, and work with you, but just please make sure to do your part on the uniform code. That helps us out a bunch. We will finish up here talking about announcements.
Kind of just a couple ways to communicate. We communicate with the kids and with you guys. Every day during fourth period, we have 5 minutes that are dedicated to school announcements. And those are pretty much for the students and faculty and staff only. If it's something that is important that we think parents need to know, it will go in that Wednesday bulletin. But those fourth hour announcements could be a change of room for a club meeting that we're not going to let all the parents know, or a time change, or something that has to do with a class. So usually that's what we're going to do over those fourth period announcements. We also have emails that we will send out to the students, that we have the class of email addresses that will give them information. Maybe it has something to do with the sock hop coming up on Friday night, or our first home football game. We'll send an email out with just some reminders on student behavior that we're going to expect before our first home football game. Could be information about the homecoming dance that's coming up, or homecoming week. So that's kind of how we get that information to the students, and if it's information that we need to share with all the parents, again, like a few other people in here said, we will send that out in that Wednesday newsletter, so that's really, really important to check and to read. We're excited to get to know your students in good ways and to partner with you guys and work with you guys. So if you have any questions, please stop by outside after and ask away.
Thank you very much. And remember that whenever we call, it doesn't mean that something bad has happened. It might be good. So don't feel like it's always bad. Just want to let you know that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Teresa Wright. I'm one of the college counselors here at Benet and the director of the counseling department. And, it never goes unnoticed in my heart when I think about how many hours your children spend with us versus how many hours you give them at home in this phase of their life, right? Between their hours that they sleep and hours they're at school and practice, they actually spend more time with other people than they do with you. And so thank you for entrusting your children to us here at Benet. We very much respect that and honor our work with your students. So much growth happens in these high school years. So from that freshman year when the freshmen walk in on half day versus when we line them up at commencement, it is profound what happens in these 4 years that they're with us. And you should know that your children will be loved and supported in this building every day when they're with us. As a member of the counseling department, I can tell you some of the things that we do to support your students and their growth as individuals. Obviously, they're becoming young adults, and that doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time, and not just in high school. They're going to still continue to grow and develop in those college years as well. But our goal really is for your students to be able to be self-advocates, to be able to make decisions, to learn how to manage their time, and all of those soft skills that are really, really important to being a successful adult. Our department has 3 school counselors and 3 college counselors, and we partner based on our alphabet split. So every family will be assigned a school counselor and a college counselor based on your last name. So if you have more than one student who comes to Benet, you should have the same counselor for your time with us. And then we also have a newly added part-time social worker in our department as well. So I think the big piece of advice for freshmen coming in is to really utilize the resources that are available to you, your students, and you as parents as well. We do have an open door policy in our department, so a student does not have to make an appointment or get a pass. They're able to come to us during their study hall, during their homeroom, before school, after school. So if they have a question that they need answered, they can just pop in. They're also welcome to make an appointment if they're the kind of student who wants to know that their counselor's going to be at their desk and available. They certainly can email us and make an appointment. As parents, you are welcome to call and email us. We do try to get back with our families within a 48-hour window. If it's something more pressing, obviously we'll try to respond to that more quickly, but we do ask for 48 hours to be able to respond. Sometimes the years are busier than others. So, obviously we talk a lot about the Wednesday newsletter. We do also send quarterly newsletters from the counseling department that are very specific to social emotional learning, college-related information. We do parent programs in the evenings. We would encourage you to attend those as are applicable to your needs. And we also have a freshman advisory program where your student will be seeing their counselor once a week, every week for their entire freshman year. And so even if they don't want to come into the counseling center to ask the question, they will see their counselor at some point that week, and that's a great opportunity for them to get their questions answered and for that relationship to begin to form so that when they're with us for these 4 years, they know each other. That advisory program really does tackle a lot of those social emotional topics, things like the big transition to high school is certainly the very first thing that we address in the advisory program. And we also talk about things like executive functioning study skills, how to get ready for exams, how to get involved. And so they will be very well supported through that advisory program as well. On September 12th, there is conversation with the counselor for parents of freshmen. And we do have this series of conversation with the counselors. We have conversations with the college counselors, and they happen sporadically throughout the year. So if you just want to make note of those when you see them on your calendar. Those are typically come in, it's an open kind of floor. You can come in with your questions, meet other parents. It's a great way to, of course, establish your Benet network as well. So having said that, I think the most important thing that I want you to take away tonight is that we don't ever want you to worry or wonder alone. Parenting a teenager is not always easy. We work with teenagers every day. This is our career and our vocation and our calling. We actually really love working with teenagers. So if you all are having a situation at home and you're unsure of something or you're worried about something, please reach out to the counseling department. We are happy to help you through whatever that might be, whether it's an academic issue or a mental health issue. We are here to kind of support you as parents and as families as well. So thanks for being here.
Welcome, I'm Tracy McGeegan. I'm the HR manager here at Benet, but I'm also the volunteer compliance guru. I don't know. It's just one of the jobs that I have. I just wanted to go really quickly through what the requirements are here to volunteer at Benet. First thing really important is fill out the registration form. If you go on the Benet website, at the top it says parents, click on that, scroll down, it says volunteers. It'll take you to the registration form. Once you fill that out, that automatically gets sent to me. That is really what Benet requires. The Diocese of Joliet has a few more requirements. You have to have an active Veritas account with the Diocese of Joliet. If you are in another diocese, I can help you get your account shared or transferred from that diocese to Joliet. You have to have your Protecting Dutch Children. It's an online course. As of 8/1, the diocese is now requiring that be done every 3 years. You have to sign off on the 2 pastoral policies. And then there's also a name background check that has to be completed. That's every 5 years. The other thing they started last year was a volunteer application. I condensed that as part of the registration form here at Benet, so you just fill it out once. You don't have to fill out the same information twice. On the registration form, one of the questions on there, it's going to require you to do a little bit of math, but it helps me out a lot. It asks anticipated graduation date of your very last child. That just helps me to know how long you think you're going to be here at Benet and how long you need to keep that file active for you. So just don't think about the child now, think about the child that might be coming 5 years from now and what year they're going to graduate, so I know how long to keep you active. You don't have to re-register every year. Once you're registered and I've cleared you, you're fine as long as you keep up with those background checks and the Protecting God's Children refresher course. Okay? So that's it for that, but I do want to, one more thing, kind of what Scott was saying earlier about how everybody here works together. So I've had 2 graduates. I had a 2014 and a 2019 graduate from here. My 2019 graduate was in choir, orchestra. He was a madrigal his junior and senior year. He was in musical all 4 years. He was on the chess team and he played baseball. And Brian and Scott and the chess coach, they were great. They worked with his schedule to make sure that he could get involved in all of those things. So if your kids are like, oh, I don't know, have them talk to their teachers, have them talk to the moderators, have them talk to the coach. It can work. So thank you. If you have any questions about volunteering, I'll be out there, or just shoot me an email. Thank you. Welcome.
So this concludes our formal presentations. Again, you've heard numerous times. If you have any questions, we'll be out in the lobby area. So please, if you do, please find the person that's relevant to you, and we'll see your freshman here Wednesday with check-in and Thursday for the first day at Frost Fest. And let's go Red Wings. Thank you.